Almost every household already owns the passport, the policy, the deed, and the beneficiary form. What almost none of them owns is a single index of where each one lives, when it expires, and who else could find it. The failure is never that you did not have the file. It is that nobody had a map. The documents aren't lost. The map is. That is what these 20 tabs do. You know the drawer. A passport whose expiry date nobody can name. A policy nobody has read since 2019. A subscription canceled in spirit 2 years ago and still billing. So you can see how the file behaves. It ships filled in with a fictional sample household, the Bennetts, in Ohio. Delete their rows and type your own. Start with the register. 1 row per document. This is the master register and the tab you fill in first. For each document you record what it is, who it belongs to, where the original lives, where a second copy lives, and the issue and expiry dates. Everything right of that calculates itself. The sample household indexed 48 documents in one Sunday morning, and there is room for 200. Look at what the file found. 1 document is already expired, a passport card that lapsed in a filing cabinet years ago. 2 more expire inside the 90-day window you set yourself, a professional license, and a pet registration. The days column is arithmetic against today's date, so the row that matters sorts to the top. And then the column that quietly does the most work, where the original lives. 3 rows in the sample are blank, and the file flags them rather than letting the page look finished. A property survey, a vehicle title, a diploma. The household owns all 3, and nobody can say where they are, which is the same as not having them. Now the tab where almost everyone is working from bad information. The Internal Revenue Service does not publish a blanket 7-year rule. It publishes a period of limitations table, and the default in that table is 3 years. 7 years matches exactly 1 line. A claim for a loss from worthless securities or a bad debt deduction. 6 years applies if income was underreported by more than 25%. If no return was filed, the period never expires at all. That page was last reviewed on the 30th of June 2026. So you pick the rule for each year from a drop-down, and the file computes the keep until date from your own filing date. 11 tax years are logged, and exactly 1 of them fits the 7-year rule. 6 years are now past their window and safe to shred. And the year the house was bought is not on a clock at all, because property records run until the limitations period closes on the year you sell. This next one costs families more money than any other line in the file. Vanguard puts it plainly, and the tab quotes them word for word. The beneficiary designations you make on a retirement account supersede any other instructions you leave, including your will. A form filled in before a marriage, a divorce, or a second child still wins. So this tab lists every account and policy with its primary and contingent beneficiary, the percentages, and whether you chose per stirpes or per capita. You set the review window on the Start Here tab, 24 months in the sample, and the file counts for you. 10 designations are recorded here. 1 was last reviewed in June 2019. That is 85 months ago, and the flag turns over. The point is not filing the form. It is noticing the one that went quietly out of date. Now the tab that pays for the file in about a fortnight. You type the service, the billing cycle, the amount, and how you actually cancel it. The file normalizes everything to a monthly equivalent and back up to a yearly figure. So an annual alarm charge sits beside a monthly streaming bundle on 1 scale. 7 lines are still billing, 2 of them flagged and used, and a free trial converts in 9 days. And there is the number nobody in that house could have told you. $185.82 a month, normalized. $2,229.84 a year, and $371.76 of that, 16.7%, is on 2 services nobody has opened since January. One honest note, there is no federal one-click cancellation right in effect. The rule was vacated in July 2025. What you control is a tracked renewal date and a recorded cancellation method. Which brings me to the decision that shapes the whole file. This workbook stores no passwords, no PINs, no 2-factor recovery codes. No full account numbers, no card numbers, no social security numbers, no passport numbers, and no driver's license numbers. Not one field for any of them exists, and that is a design decision. What it records instead is the institution, the account nickname, the last 4 digits only, and the column that does the real work, where the credential lives. Which password manager, which safe, which trusted person holds the access key. Those are facts about your house, not secrets about your money, which is what makes the file safe to sync, safe to print, and safe to hand to somebody. Everything you have just seen rolls up onto one page. The dashboard names the next thing to expire and counts the days. In the sample, that is an Ohio professional license, 45 days out. Beside it, 1 document already expired, 2 more inside the window, 3 with no recorded location, 1 beneficiary form past review, and what the subscriptions cost in a year. Nothing here is typed. And a completeness score, which is the most useful thing on the page because it refuses to look finished. 6 areas are counted: documents with a location, documents with a second copy, beneficiary forms inside their window, claim-ready inventory items, digital mechanisms set up, and key people somebody else knows to call. The sample scores 71.9%. That is not a failure. It is a to-do list. One last thing, because you should ask. 20 tabs for 1,145 formulas. Every theme was recalculated headlessly, and then a separate script read-arrived every computed figure in plain Python from the input cells alone, 1,285 checks, all passing. Every screen in this video is a render of that file, not a mock-up, and every fact quoted anywhere carries its source and check date on the Reference and Sources tab. Anything unverified was demoted to a cream cell for you to fill in or left out. That is the Life, Admin, and Important Documents Command Center. 20 connected tabs for color themes, Excel and Google Sheets, 2 printables built for the fire safe, and free lifetime updates. $27.97, instant download. It is not legal or tax advice. It is a filing index and a countdown. Do the boring hour once, and be the household somebody could step into. Link in the description.